Good evening, children. Welcome back to YEP Master, the school foundation program for class 10th. In the previous class, we started discussing about the alkenes and their nomenclatures, isomerism. Okay. So today, let us focus on some of the questions that we can expect in the examination from the alkenes chapter, that too especially focusing on nomenclature as well as isomerism. Okay. Let us see some of the previous competitive examination questions that are appeared in the examination. So these kind of questions may be expected in the upcoming competitive examinations as well. So let us look at the first one. So first half of the particular questions we are going to deal with the nomenclature, and second half we are going to look at the isomerism concept. Okay. So here a compound is given. What is the IUPAC name of this compound? And in this compound it is very clearly mentioned the presence of a double bond. Okay. And moreover, if you observe, you can clearly see that at this doubly bonded carbon atom we have one methyl group, one ethyl group, CH3 CH2. Okay, CH2 CH3 ethyl group, one side we have methyl group on the one doubly bonded carbon atom. Okay. And if you look at the other doubly bonded carbon atom, on this case also we have two different groups. One is CH2 CH3, that is ethyl group, other is CH2 CH2 CH3 propyl group. So here we have methyl, okay, and here we have a ethyl group. This side we have ethyl, okay, and this side we have propyl. So two different groups are present on the doubly bonded carbon atom. So we can expect this is isomerism as well in this case, and we have to use that cis nomenclature for the naming this compound. Okay, right. And if we observe, for example, in any case, if you want to name a alkene, what we have to do? We have to select longest continuous carbon chain including the double bond. Okay. So if we are going to select the longest continuous carbon chain, I will go in this direction. Okay. So while going this direction, we are going to get the longest continuous carbon chain. How many carbon atoms are present? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 carbon atoms are present in this particular chain. So this is the longest carbon chain having 7 carbon atoms in its chain. For example, if I am going to select this way, I am going to get only 6 carbon atoms. Okay. If we are going to select this way also, it is not going to include this carbon atom. So we are always supposed to write, or we have supposed to select the longest continuous carbon chain having maximum number of carbon atoms. So 7 carbon atoms are present in this carbon chain. So that is the longest continuous chain. If we are going to select this way, in this case we are going to end up with the 6 carbon atoms in the continuous chain. So in any way if you observe, in any way if you select, this is the longest continuous carbon chain including the double bond. Okay. Then we have to number the carbon chain in such a way that the doubly bonded carbon atom gets the lowest possible number. So this should be the 1, this is 2, doubly bonded carbon atom gets 3 position, this carbon 5th one, this is 6th one, 7th, 5, 6 and 7. Okay. If we are going numbering in this direction, 1, 2, 3 and the doubly bonded carbon atom get the 4th position. This side the doubly bonded carbon atom getting the 3rd position, whereas the double bond in other direction gets the 4th position. So this clearly indicates that this way of numbering is the correct way of numbering. Okay. Then observing the molecule, it is very clear that it contains 7 carbons. Okay. And it has substituents. Instead of methyl hydrogen, here we have a methyl. So here methyl is taken as a substituent, and here ethyl is taken as a substituent. Okay. So at 3rd position we have methyl, and at 4th position we have ethyl. Okay. So it should be 4 ethyl, 3 methyl, and we have 7 carbons in the chain, so it should be X. And at 3rd carbon we have a double bond, so the ene ENE should be added at third position, so it should be X3-ene. And moreover, if you observe the orientation of the groups, two ethyl groups are on the same side of the double bond, so it can be taken as a cis isomer. Okay, this is ethyl group and this is ethyl group, both are present on the same side of the double bond, both are present upside. Ethyl on this carbon atom present upside and this carbon atom present upside, so both are present on the same side of the double bond, so this is cis alkene. Okay, this is cis alkene. So we have 7 carbons in the chain. At third carbon atom we have a double bond, and on third we have a methyl group, on fourth we have a ethyl group. So ethyl, fourth group ethyl has to be preferred first, ethyl group, and then followed by the methyl group, hexene, and that too it is in a cis fashion, so it should be cis 3-hexene. Okay, so let us look at the names. Sorry, it contains 7 carbons, so it should be heptanana. Okay, it contains 7 carbons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 carbons means it should be hept, and at third position we have double bond, so it should be ene, heptene, hept3-ene. Okay, so if we observe here at third position we have methyl group, fourth position we have ethyl group. So whenever we go for the naming the substituent, alphabetical order to be preferred. Ethyl, E comes first in the alphabets, so it should be ethyl. So its fourth position it is present, so you should mention the position hyphen ethyl, then third position methyl. Okay, and then 2 ethyls are on the same side, so it is a cis. So cis, and at third carbon we have a double bond, so we have 7 carbons in the chain, hept plus ene, so it should be heptene. Okay, heptene. 4 ethyl, 3 methyl, cis 3 heptene is the name of the compound. Okay, it should be 4 ethyl, okay, 3 methyl, 4 ethyl, 3 methyl, cis, because the orientation of the ethyl groups are on the same side of the double bond, so it is cis. Hept3-ene is the name of this particular compound. Okay, right. Let us look at one more. IUPAC name of CH2 double bond CH, CH3 taken 2 times. So when we elaborate the structure, we can write this fashion: CH3, CH2 double bond CH, then we have CH, okay, this side CH3, and one more CH3 on the same carbon, so I am writing in this way. Okay, now if you observe, this is the what do you call the alkene molecule, and we have to select the longest continuous carbon chain having maximum number of carbon atoms including the double bond. If you go in straight way or if you go straight and downside, we are going to get the same number of carbon atoms. So 4 carbons are present in the molecule, so it should be butene, first thing. Okay, and then you have to number the carbon chain in such a way that the doubly bonded carbon atom gets the lowest possible number. So numbering in this direction, doubly bonded carbon atom gets the first numbering. So this is the correct way of numbering. And at third carbon atom we have a substituent. What is that? CH3. So at third position we have substituent, so it should be written first. Substituent has to be written first with its name, that is alkyl name. It is methyl CH3. Third position it is present, so 3-methyl. Then this is a 4 carbon chain, so it should be but, and at first carbon we have a double bond, so it should be 1-butene, 3-methyl, 1-butene. Okay, or you can also write it as 3-methyl, but 1-ene. This is also correct way. Okay, you can write the location of the double bond before the name of the molecule, the alkene, or you can write alk position then ene. Okay, both are correct. So this is 3-methyl 1-butene or 3-methyl but 1-ene is the IUPAC name of this particular compound. Okay, let us see what is the options that are given. Yeah, 1,1-dimethyl 2-propane. No, it should be 3-methyl 1-butene. Yes, B is the correct option. B is the correct option. 3-methyl 1-butene. 2-vinyl propane. No, we cannot call it as 2-vinyl. Vinyl is the common system of naming. We use the word vinyl for the common naming system. Isopropyl also we use for common naming system. So these two are ruled out because they are asking us to locate or write the IUPAC nomenclature, IUPAC name of the compound. Okay. IUPAC name of allyl chloride. So allyl chloride. So this is the alkene. Allyl is exactly, it should be CH2 double bond CH, CH2 Cl. This is the allyl chloride structure. CH2 double bond CH, CH2 Cl is allyl chloride. We usually represent this way. Okay. This is the normal representation of allyl chloride. CH2 double bond CH, CH2, this group is called as allyl. This group is called allyl group. Okay. According to common naming system, we call this moiety as allyl. Okay. And if we are going to have this way, CH2 double bond CHCl, this is called as vinyl. This moiety is called vinyl. CH2 double bond CH is called vinyl. So this is vinyl chloride and this is allyl chloride. Allyl chloride is a 3-carbon chain with a chlorine atom. First 2 carbons will have a double bond. And vinyl chloride is 2-carbon chain with the chlorine atom. First 2 carbon, the 2 carbons will have a double bond. So this is vinyl chloride and this is allyl chloride. Allyl chloride, an sp3 hybridized carbon is attached to an sp2 hybridized carbon. Okay. So the substituent is present on an sp3 hybridized carbon, which in turn attached to an sp2 hybridized carbon. In the case of vinyl chloride, the chlorine is present on an sp2 hybridized carbon. Okay. So that is taken as vinyl chloride. Okay. So now if we want to name the allyl chloride, first we have to write the structure and then to give the numbering to the chain, and then we have to write the IUPAC nomenclature. Okay. So we have to select the longest continuous carbon chain. This is the longest continuous carbon chain which contains 3 carbon atoms, including the double bond, Now after selecting the longest continuous carbon chain, we have to give numbering to the carbon atoms. So the numbering, when we are giving numbering to the carbon chain, doubly bonded carbon atom should be given priority. So I am starting numbering from this side. So it should be 1, 2 and 3. Now what about this one? Chlorine atom is taken as substituent. So it is treated as substituent. So we are going to treat the chlorine atom as a substituent. So the substituent is present on a 3-carbon chain, and of course it on what carbon atom it is present, or which carbon atom it is present. It is present on the 3rd carbon atom according to the IUPAC numbering system. Okay. So therefore we can say that the Cl generally taken as chloro, okay, and it is present at the 3rd carbon. So it should be 3-chloro. 3-chloro is the substituent name, followed by 1, 2, 3. We have 3 carbons in the chain, and that too with a double bond. So we have a double bond at first position, so we can write it as 1. 3-carbon chain we call it as prop. Okay. And double bond is present, so E and E should be added. It should be 1-propene. 3-chloro 1-propene, or you can also write it as 3-chloro prop 1-ene. 3-chloro prop 1-ene is also one more way of naming the allyl chloride. Okay. So let us see the options. So it should be 3-chloro prop 1-ene or 3-chloro 1-propene. So 3-chloro 1-propene, option D is the correct answer. 3-chloro 1-propene. Okay. Let us see one more. Yeah. Give the IUPAC name of the molecule is given. Okay. So let me write the molecule with the carbon atom mentioning. So that CH2 double bond CH, C double bond CH2, and this side we have chlorine. Okay. So this is the way we are going to write the same molecule with the indicating carbons and the hydrogens. CH2 double bond CH, single bond C double bond CH2, and this C is connected to the chlorine other side. Okay. Now we have to select the longest continuous carbon chain including the double bond. One more thing you can observe in this case, what is that? This is the moiety in which we have two double bonds. This is the moiety in which we have two double bonds. So two double bonds are present in the moiety. So we have to include the two double bonds in selecting the longest continuous carbon chain. So we are going to select the longest continuous carbon chain this fashion, so that it is going to have 4 carbon atoms and all the double bonds are included. Okay, right. So 4 carbons are present in the longest continuous carbon chain, so it should be bute. Okay, and if you observe here, we have to give the numbering to the system or the carbon atoms starting from the one side. Of course, we can go in both the directions. I will write 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, or we can also number the other way around, this way 1, 2, this carbon gets the 3rd position and last carbon gets the 4th position. Of course, we are going to treat the chlorine as substituent. Okay, don't bother about the chlorine now. So here if we are looking at this molecule in the numbering from right to left side, if you observe, second carbon as a substituent. In this way, left to right, the 3rd carbon is having the substituent. So whenever we have a substituent, the substituted carbon should get the lowest numbering. So the first way of numbering is correct and this is the wrong way of numbering. Okay. And if we observe here, we have a chlorine substituent on the second carbon atom. So the name of that substituent has to be written first with its location. So let me write the second position. We have Cl group. So I am writing it as 2-chloro. Okay. And we have carbon with a carbon chain with the 2 double bonds here. Okay. At first position we have a double bond and at 3rd position we have a double bond. Okay. So therefore we have to write it as 1, 3. 1, 3. At first carbon and 3rd carbon we have a double bond. So I am writing it as 1, 3 hyphen butadiene. We call it as butaalkadiene is the way we are used for naming the carbon chain having 2 double bonds. Okay. So it is a 2-chloro. The chlorine position is mentioned. We have to write the position of the double bond. First carbon has a double bond. 3rd carbon also has a double bond. So 1, 3. 4 carbons are present in the chain. So it is buta. Okay. And 2 double bonds are present. So I am writing it as diene. Di indicates 2 double bonds. Ene is for indicating the double bond. Okay. ENE we write for indicating the double bond. Okay. And when we write diene, it indicates 2 double bonds are present. Where they are present? They are present at first carbon and 3rd carbon atom. So we are also mentioning their positions. Okay. So it can be written as 2-chloro 1, 3 butadiene, or we can also write it as 2-chloro buta 1, 3 diene. Even we can write the position of the double bond exactly at diene position also. Okay. Buta is written first followed by 1, 3 diene. Okay. So this is 1, 3 butadiene molecule in which one of the hydrogen in the second carbon is replaced with the chlorine. So we are writing it as 2-chloro butadiene. Okay. 1, 3 butadiene. Let us see the options. Yeah, it is 2-chloro 1, 3 butadiene. This is the correct name of the compound. Okay. The structure of 4-methyl pent-2-ene is. So now the name is given, IUPAC name is given. From that we have to write the structure of the compound. Okay. So whenever we want to write a structure from the name, first you have to look at the parent chain. What is the parent chain given here? Parent chain is pent. So just observe. Of course, whatever may be the groups that are present as a substituent, they are mentioned in the as a prefix. Lastly, we are going to have the parent name. Parent is pent. Pent means it has 5 carbon atoms. So pent is the parent name. So it has 5 carbon atoms. So simply write 5 carbon atoms in a straight chain. Okay, simply write the 5 carbons in a straight chain first. Okay, and then where we have the double bond is present. E and E is the position of the double bond. Okay, E and E indicates double bond. At second position we have double bond. So number the carbon chain in any direction. Let me go in this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So at second carbon atom we have E and E. So we have to write the double bond on the second carbon atom. So I am creating the double bond at a second carbon. So I am writing double bond between second and third carbon atoms. So always double bond starting carbon atom is mentioned in the name. 2-ene means the double bond is present between 2 and third carbon atoms, second and third carbon atom. It starts at second carbon. So I am writing between second and third. Okay. Then we have a substituent. What is that substituent? It is methyl is the substituent. At what position it is located? Located at fourth position. So I have to keep it at the fourth position. So I have to keep it at the fourth position, right? Now I am keeping the, so this is the fourth carbon atom. So I am keeping that alkyl group at fourth carbon atom. So alkyl group is methyl. So I am writing it as CH3, right? Now we have taken the carbon chain parent name with the parent name. We have taken the 5 carbon chain as the longest chain. With the indication of the E and E at second position, we have written double bond at second and third carbon atoms. Now we have given we have taken the substituent and kept it correct location at fourth position. And after giving these things, satisfy the valency of the carbon atom with the hydrogen atoms. Satisfy the valency of carbon atoms with hydrogen atoms. Now let me satisfy the valency of carbon with the hydrogen. We know carbon is a tetravalency. It is a tetravalent element. Okay, carbon. So it is going to have 4 bonds around it. So since here between the 2 carbon atoms we have only 1 bond, so this carbon has 3 bonds now. If you observe the second carbon, this side we have 1 single bond, this side we have a double bond. So 3 bonds are satisfied. 1 bond has to be satisfied with the hydrogen. This third carbon, if you observe, one side it is connected with the double bond, other side with the single bond. So 3 bonds are completed. It requires only 1 bond. So I am writing 1 hydrogen. Okay. Look at the fourth carbon. Fourth carbon connected with the 3 single bonds. So 3 bonds are satisfied. It is requiring only 1 bond. So I am writing only 1 hydrogen. And last fifth carbon, if you observe, it is connected to only 1 bond. 3 more bonds are required. So I am keeping 3 more hydrogens with it. So this is the structure of the 4-methyl 2-pentene or pent-2-ene. So this is the structure that we are going to get. Okay. For any IUPAC nomenclature, if you want to deduce the structure, first look at the parent name. From the parent name, number of carbon atoms can be identified. So write number of carbon atoms in a straight chain. Connect all the carbons with only single bond initially. Okay. And then since we are discussing the alkenes, so look at the ene position. Where it is present? It is present at the second position. So there you give the double bond. And then look at the substituent, whatever may be the substituent present in the molecule. The substituent present is at fourth carbon atom. So at fourth carbon atom the substituent is connected. Alkyl group is given. So alkyl group I am writing. Okay. And then satisfy. After giving all the substituents at their locations, correct locations, then try to satisfy the valency, tetravalency of carbon with the hydrogens. So whenever we require one more bond or number of bonds, number of hydrogens, you have just go on add to that carbon atom, and thereby you will get the structure of the particular IUPAC name. Okay. So this is the structure for this molecule 4-methyl pent-2-ene. Okay. Let us look at the options given. So we have a double bond at second position. Okay, we have a double bond at second position with 5 carbons in the chain. So first if you observe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons are there, but double bond is present on the first carbon atom, so that is ruled out. Okay, so this is not the correct option. Okay, and if you observe this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 we have, and one group is present on this. So this here double bond is present in the second and third carbon atom. So we can expect this to be the correct answer. Okay, and if we observe here, this moiety has more number of carbon atoms than required, pent carbon. So it has 6 carbons or more. So that is ruled out. Okay, and if we observe this one, this has 5 carbon atoms in the chain, but the location of the double bond and methyl groups are different. So, this is also ruled out. So, second is the correct option for this molecule, that is 4-methyl pent-2-ene. The correct structure is B, CH3 taken 2 times, CH double bond CH3. Okay. So, this is the correct option, right. Let us move on to the next one. IUPAC name of, yeah, a complex molecule is given, but of course don't bother about the complex molecule. What we have to do, since if you observe the molecule carefully, this molecule also possesses 2 double bonds, 2 carbon-carbon double bonds are present in the molecule. Just observe the carbon-carbon double bonds, here we have and here we have. So, first and foremost thing is we have to select the longest continuous carbon chain having both the double bonds. So, I have to select the longest continuous carbon chain having both the double bonds. So, this is the longest continuous carbon chain having the double bonds, okay. And give the numbering to the double bond, so that the substituent, the carbon which has substituent should get the lowest possible numbering. So, when we are going for numbering, you can go in this direction 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, I am selecting the longest continuous carbon chain having 6 carbon atoms. So, when we have 6 carbon atoms, the parent name should be X, okay, right. And at first carbon atom we have a double bond, on 5th carbon atom we have a double bond. So, it is 1, 5 diene, it is 1, 5 diene, okay. And look at the third position or the third carbon atom. On third carbon atom, one side we have a methyl group, other side we have a very big complex substituent. While we are naming the alkanes, there we have discussed the complex substituents. Further substitution, if it is present on a substituent, we take that substituent as a complex substituent, okay. So, in that case what we have to do, always the complex substituent has to be named and the name of the complex substituent has to be kept within the bracket. So, within the bracket, if you want to keep it, in that case I have to give numbering to the substituted carbon chain as well. So, in this case if I am going giving the numbering to this one, I can proceed in this way, this is 1, this is 2 and this is 3. So, we have 3 carbons in the chain, and always, as I told you, whenever we have a substituent, complex substituent, the carbon atom that is directly attached to the parent chain should be given numbering 1. So, I am starting numbering from 1 here, 2 and 3. So, it is having, I have to again select the longest continuous carbon chain in that substituent also. So, here if I am going to consider this as a complex substituent, this is the longest continuous carbon chain having 3 carbon atoms, and if we are going to observe here, you can clearly see that we have CH3 here and we have one more CH3 here and one more CH3 here. So, these 3 CH3s are considered as substituents, they are considered as substituents on the substitution, okay. So, the total name of this thing which is enclosed in a red colored ring has to be given separately, and it has to be enclosed in a parenthesis within the bracket we have to write, okay, right. So, here if I observe 1, 2, 3, on second carbon we have 2 methyls, and first carbon we have 2 methyls, and second carbon we have 1 methyl. So, it should be the complex substituent name I am writing, okay, 1, 1, 2, 1 this way, 1 the other side, 2 this way. So, we have 3 same substituents, so I am writing it as trimethyl, 1, 1, 2 trimethyl. Trimethyl, what is the parent name here? We have 3 carbon chain, we have to write it as propyl, So, the complex substituent name I have written here, it is 1, 1, 2 trimethyl propyl is the complex substituent name, okay. Now, the other side we have one more, that is taken as 3-methyl, one more substituent is at third carbon we have CH3, so that is 3-methyl, okay. Now, here we have 6 carbons, so the parent name should be Higgs, and it has 2 double bonds. first double bond is present on the first carbon, second double bond is present on the fifth carbon, so it should be 1, 5 diene. 1, 5 hexadiene is the parent name, and at third position we have methyl, and third position we have a complex substituent. The name of the complex substituent is 1, 1, 2 trimethyl 3-methyl. Trimethyl propyl is the name. So this total complex substituent is present on which carbon atom? The carbon which is labeled 3. So we have to write 3 here, 3 dash 3 hyphen 1, 1, 2 trimethyl propyl 3-methyl hexa 1,5 diene is the name of this compound. Okay. So we are taking this as a complex substituent and then naming the alkene accordingly. Okay. Let us see what is the name that is we are going to write. This is 3-methyl and this side we have 3-methyl. So 3-methyl, 3 position we have complex substituent, and in this case we have 1, 1, 2 trimethyl 3 carbon chain propyl. So we have kept this one in bracket. So 3-methyl, and on 3 carbon only we have this complex substituent trimethyl propyl, then 1, 5 hexadiene. 1, 5 hexadiene is the name of the compound. So students, you should be very careful while naming these kind of complex alkenes. Okay, when we have a alkene with a complex substituent has to be named within a bracket. Within the bracket we have to give the name of the complex substituent. So just to take care while naming these kind of molecules. It's easy. Okay, the same rules are applicable what we have discussed in the case of alkanes with a complex substituents. Same rules will be applied, and I have to go accordingly and then name the compound. Okay, so option B is correct for this particular question. Okay. Geometrical isomers results due to. When we can expect the geometrical isomers? Geometrical isomers are due to the restricted rotation about a carbon-carbon double bond. In the case of alkenes, we have carbon-carbon double bond. So because of the restricted rotation, as I told you, take 2 tomatoes and connect 2 tomatoes with the 2 sticks. In that case, if you want to rotate the tomato, it is not possible to rotate the tomatoes. Why it is so? Because of the restricted rotation that is given with respect to the carbon-carbon double bond. Okay. So because of the restricted rotation of the carbon-carbon double bond, we get the geometrical isomers in the case of alkene. Not only carbon-carbon double bond, even carbon and nitrogen double bond, nitrogen double bond, restricted rotation will give geometrical isomerism. We will discuss more about the carbon nitrogen double bond, nitrogen double bond once we move forward in organic chemistry. Okay. Geometrical isomerism is shown by, so which of the following molecule shows the geometrical isomerism? So if I am going to write the structures of all these molecules, then we can easily identify. Let me write the first molecule structure. So C double bond C. First you just locate the carbon atoms which are connected by double bond, okay, and then try to write the substance present on the carbon atoms. So if I am writing the substance present on the carbon atoms, so this is the structure that we are going to get for the first molecule. Second molecule I am writing this way. So first locate the carbon atoms having the double bond. So I am writing carbon atoms with the double bonds. Okay, this carbon connected to bromine and iodine. So I am writing it as Br one side, iodine the other side. This carbon connected to hydrogen and methyl. So I am writing hydrogen and then methyl CH3 the other side. Okay. Look at the third one. Option C, if you observe here, look at the carbon-carbon connecting with the double bond. So I am writing carbon-carbon double bond. This carbon connected to bromine and iodine. So I am writing it as Br and I. The other side it is connected with the 2 methyls. So I am writing it as CH3, CH3 only. Okay, 2 CH3s. Right. Let me write the fourth option as well. Locate the carbon-carbon double bond first. So write the carbon-carbon double bond. This carbon connected with the 2 chlorine atoms. So write the 2 chlorine atoms. That side the carbon is connected with the hydrogen one side, and other side we have a CH3 group. Okay. And then by looking at the structure now, it is easy for us to identify which molecule is going to exhibit isomerism, or that is geometrical isomerism. Look at the first option. Look at the first option. In the case of first option, if you observe, this is the carbon atom which is having same hydrogen atoms, As we know, in the case of geometrical isomerism, doubly bonded carbon atom must and should be connected to two different groups, but here we have same groups, hydrogen and hydrogen. So this is ruled out. So this molecule does not exhibit any geometrical isomerism. Look at the second option. Here if you observe this carbon, doubly bonded carbon connected to bromine and iodine, both are different groups. And this side doubly bonded carbon atom connected to hydrogen and methyl. So this can exhibit geometrical isomerism. Okay. And look at the third option. Here if you observe, this is the carbon atom to which two same groups, methyl groups are connected. When we have two same groups, in that case the molecule won't exhibit any geometrical isomerism. So that is ruled out. So here if you observe fourth option, in this case this is the doubly bonded carbon atom which is having same substituents, chlorines on it. So this is the molecule also does not give any geometrical isomerism. So for a molecule to exhibit geometrical isomerism, the doubly bonded carbon atom must be connected to two different groups. Of course, since here there is no similar groups present on the double bond, so for all the groups are different. This is X and Y, Z and one more group is present. So all groups are different. So we generally name in this case as a geometrical isomers as a E and Z isomers, E isomer as well as Z isomers, we use the nomenclature. Okay, we will further come across about that one. Okay, so the option B is the correct one, which is going to exhibit the geometrical isomerism. Okay. Now let us move on to the next one. Which of the following shows geometrical isomerism? So let us first write the names, the structures of the molecule so that we can easily identify. So here it is given CH3, C double bond CH3, okay, hydrogen, hydrogen. Propene, propene is CH3, C double bond hydrogen, 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 okay. 2-methyl, 2-butene, so this is CH3, 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 hydrogen, okay. Orthoxylene, so the xylene is aromatic compound, we cannot expect here any geometrical isomerism, okay. Right, looking at the molecules, if we observe, this is the carbon, doubly bonded carbon atoms connected to two different groups. Here we have methyl and hydrogen. This carbon also has different groups, methyl and hydrogen. So this molecule will exhibit the geometrical isomerism. If we observe here, in case of propene, the two hydrogens are of the same atoms are present on the doubly bonded carbon atom. So this molecule does not show any geometrical isomerism. Here also the doubly bonded carbon atom connected to methyl and methyl. So same groups are present on the doubly bonded carbon atom. So that is also ruled out. So this molecule also does not exhibit geometrical isomerism. Only the first option, but2ene, exhibit geometrical isomerism, because in this case doubly bonded carbon atoms are connected to two different groups. We can have cis 2-butene as well as trans 2-butene. Okay. Number of possible open chain structures and configurational isomers with the molecular formula C4H10, sorry, C4H8, C4H8. So this is the molecule. So molecular formula, if we observe, it is clearly indicates that it's an alkene, okay, and they are asking us to identify open chain structural and configurational isomers, open chain structural and configurational isomers. So we can have CH3, CH double bond CH, CH3, okay. So this molecule can exhibit cis and trans. So we have two here. 2-butene generally exhibit two compounds, one is cis, other is trans, okay. And one more we can write as 1-butene. So double bond CH double bond. So this is one more isomer that we have, and then we can also have CH2 double bond C, CH3, CH3 here. So one more possible, okay. So totally we have 4 isomers that are possible in this case, okay. So once you observe the molecule here, the C is the correct option, which has 4 isomers. I think students, you got a clear idea how we are going to name the compound, how we are going to identify the geometrical isomers. I will come up with some more interesting topic in the next class. Until then, have a nice time. Thank you.